Healing and great health come when the body has been flushed out from waste, when humus, that is body liquids, have been cleansed and the system balanced. Hi everyone, welcome to Regenesis, the place where we present another angle on health and health issues and give you clues to reclaim your health. We do want to get the best body possible, freed from the upsets we're living with or from the heavy condition that cripples us. So where do we start? Well, before starting a garden somewhere, you will have a look at the ground in which you're going to sow your seeds to make sure it's a good one, right? Well, that's what is called the terrain. The thing is, most of the time we don't know what to do. So we just go with the flow and we take drugs, supplements, fat diets and miracle products which at best don't produce long-term results. What we need to do first is assess the terrain. And before going any further, if you are not a member of our community and you want to get an excellent free Living Fruits ebook to start your journey to get back to shape, then visit our website www.re-genesis.co.za. You just have to enter your name and your email address and you'll get that 3-day food reset ebook for free. So let's start with this key notion of terrain to understand why we are all so different from one another. A notion that was so important to natural hygiene pioneers of the 19th century. Shall we start?
Sure. Well, I'd like to start today's topic with a little story and go back to the 19th century, a time when many of our nowadays modern society mindset and beliefs originated. Louis Pasteur was a French biologist who conducted in the mid-19th century a wide variety of experiments on the nature of germs in relation to disease.
Yes, we know Pasteur. He's a major figure of the modern medical world, as most modern knowledge on prevention treatments are based on the conclusions he came up with.
Indeed, we owe him antibiotics, pasteurization, sanitation, and vaccination. According to Pasteur, germs and bacteria are strangers to the cells of the human body. They cause diseases and therefore we must act in order to avoid those germs and be healthy and disease-free. Based on these studies, Pasteur developed the germ theory that says that the terrain is nothing, but the germ is everything. Contemporary to Pasteur, Antoine Béchamp, another French biologist, also conducted a wide range of experiments on the same subject, which is how disease rise up and develop in the body. Béchamp ended up with the opposite conclusions of Pasteur.
Béchamp never tried to be popular. He was more interested in his experiments. And as a result, he's still largely unknown.
Yet it is known that Pasteur got inspired by Béchamp's work and that Pasteur acknowledged on his dying bed that Béchamp was right.
So what exactly did Béchamp find?
Well, Béchamp found out that viruses and bacteria are not the cause of diseases, but rather the result of diseases. The primary cause of disease is inside us, always inside us, he said.
In other words, in the terrain.
Germs are like humans. They eat and produce waste, and they find the food they need in a suitable environment, a suitable terrain. But Pasteur's germ theory remained. It said that all the germs must be killed as much as possible and that bacteria and viruses represent a danger. This theory is still strongly rooted in every sector of our society, even though science and Béchamp time after him found out that he was right, thanks to both germs, bacteria and viruses. Now, those so famous words of Pasteur on his deathbed remain: Béchamp was right, the microbe is nothing, the terrain is everything. Anyway, the question of the terrain is highly important, yet it is most of the time completely ignored and led us in the wrong direction.
Thank you for the story. Now, can you please define for us what exactly is the terrain?
Well, we could compare the terrain to the soil on which plants grow. If that soil gets polluted and if its quality weakens, then the plants fade and slowly degenerate and die. When we talk about the terrain, we are first talking about the organic liquids of the body, blood and lymph, Remember that our body is made at least of 70% of liquids, in which bath our cells and our macrozymes, finding of Béchamp, which are the microcells at the inception of any organism.
So the quality, the purity of those organic liquids, that is our humus, is the terrain.
The state of our terrain depends on several criteria. Your heredity, inherited from your parents, sort of pack of cards you've been given when you came into this world, from which some are born strong and others less. The nutrients available right now, what you have available right now for your biology to work, and that comes from the quality of your food intake. The bulk of waste in your system that hinders the expression of life in your body, which is again directly linked to your food intake, but also to your environment like stress, pollution, etc. And your vitality right now. Among these four parameters, one is inherited, so not much can be done about it, but the other three are our responsibility, and we can improve and change them.
So let's take a metaphor and imagine our body is a car. We need to put the right fuel in our body, in our car, for it to function optimally. But there are all types of different cars, right? Your heredity may have given you a 4x4 with a strong build, and that would be Ladis, for instance. And so you are never sick, you have no particular health issues, despite the fact that sometimes you go off-road or you don't follow a healthy lifestyle. On the other hand, your heredity may have given you a small and simple car, and that would be me. And you definitely can't go off-road or you would break down and become sick, because our body condition is way more fragile. So you see, this is your terrain. The good news is you can improve it by making the right food choices to provide the necessary nutrients and cleansing your body regularly. That is, choosing the best fuel and servicing your car as often as necessary.
Indeed, the terrain is basically the general health of our body, its ability to adapt both at physiological and psychological levels, and we show you how to assess your terrain throughout our health programs.
Alright, and how important is the terrain?
Well, remember this, the deep nature of disease is general and unique, and that is the clogging up of the terrain, also called the toxemia. That clogging happens when there is too much waste and toxins, while our inventories, lung, liver, kidneys, skin, intestines, are too lazy, weak, or deficient to do their job properly, which is to expel the waste, which therefore generates an accumulation of internal waste.
We go in depth on this in our programs. So in a nutshell, toxemia occurs when the quantity of accumulated toxin is larger than the toxin flushed.
Understand that germs can only thrive and cause significant damage when the terrain allows it, which leads us to Antoine Béchamp's finding: the germ is nothing, the terrain is everything. The terrain is indeed everything. Our human body is constantly under the attack of overloads, overload of food, of stimulants, of cell phones and broadcasting waves, of stress, etc., that clog and drain our terrain. The symptom shows up when we can no longer cope with the standing contingencies. It is from this unique cause that symptoms comes up. Of course, the stronger the constraint, the more difficult it becomes to adapt. But if your terrain is strong, life will be easy health-wise because you can adapt to a strong constraint.
Like a 4x4.
And therefore, there won't be any symptom. And so you understand that microbes are only guests of an overloaded terrain. That's the environment in which they can survive, thrive, and cause damage.
Yes, one of our teachers, Irène Grosjean, used to say, if you have two bins, one dirty and full, and the other one empty and clean, which one do you think flies, worms, and bugs will go for?
So you understand that the primary cause of disease is not the microbe per se, but a terrain clogged up with waste. The state of the terrain is so important for a sound work of our body that our entire system constantly works to maintain it perfectly clean.
So let's summarize. The terrain is basically the quality of our health. And that quality depends on heredity, on the quality of our food intake, on our waste and toxemia levels associated again with the food we eat, and of our level of vitality. The terrain is key in understanding the forming process of disease. The weaker the terrain, the greater the chance for disease. Healing and great health come when the body has been flushed out from waste, when humus, that is body liquids, have been cleansed and the system balanced.
So in the light of these explanations, we better understand the words of Antoine Béchamp, the terrain is everything.
And if you've enjoyed this video, or if you know someone who will benefit from it, just make their day by being the person who will add value to their life just by sharing this video with them.
And most importantly, take action today. You can start by making a quick assessment of your terrain. Please do share it with us in the comments below this video, and next time you have something to eat, ask yourself whether that food works towards strengthening or weakening your terrain. And if it undermines it, don't take it. Go for something that will strengthen your terrain instead. Make use of the hormesis law.
Check out our video on the hormesis law just there.
To constantly improve your terrain.
And remember, you can follow the link to our website below this video to download our free Living Foods ebook to start increasing your nutrients intake and work towards your terrain improvement. That way you will also be the first ones to know when our health programs are ready. Take good care of yourself.
Bye-bye. See you soon.